Welcome back to Timeless Messages from the Ching. This is Stephen. Thanks for tuning in. Today's message is again a general reading for anyone that happens to be drawn to this video. Maybe the title drew you in or something about the color of the screenshot. Whatever it was, there's a message here or a number of messages here that could be assisting you with a new perspective and helpful ideas. So, the I Ching is an ancient book from China, a divination book to help reveal the wisdom of the unconscious mind to the seeker. Helps people with making decisions, understanding situations that are confusing, and how to proceed in a better way in life. So the general question I'm going to be asking here is, what are the most important or beneficial messages for the viewer? What are the most beneficial messages for the viewer? And without further ado, I'm going to grab the coins, the silver dollars, and put them onto the yellow silk and figure out what the most beneficial messages are for the viewer. Beneficial messages for the viewer. Most beneficial messages for the viewer. Most beneficial messages for the viewer. Okay. 3, 6, 9. Looks like that's a little bit low. I'll bring it up here. There we go. Okay. Okay. Most beneficial messages for the viewer. Most beneficial messages for the viewer. Most beneficial messages for the viewer. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, get rid of this. There we go. Okay. Most beneficial messages for the viewer. Most beneficial messages for the viewer. Most beneficial messages for the viewer. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Most beneficial messages for the viewer. Most beneficial messages for the viewer. Most beneficial messages for the viewer. 3, 6, 9. Okay. Most beneficial messages for the viewer. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Most beneficial messages for the viewer. Most beneficial messages for the viewer. Most beneficial messages for the viewer. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we carry these over because these are all changing lines. This is a yin line that changes to yang, or feminine to masculine. This is a masculine line that changes to feminine. Bring that over here. This line stays the same, you just carry it across. These two lines are still the same, they don't change. The bottom line changes to a feminine line. Okay. Grab the text and begin to understand what's going on. Well, before we do that, let's figure out what these trigrams are. Yin, yang, yang. Okay, I know what this is. This is Tui, the youngest daughter, and this is Chen, father, heaven. Okay, and next hexagrams here. Yang, yang, yin. This is Shun, or you could say sun. I don't think that's correct pronunciation, but Shun. And this is Shun again. Okay. So Tui and Chen, Tui and Chen, 43. Let's see, that's too low. 43. And shun. Let's see. 57. Okay. This one is 43, and this one is 57. Let's find out what their names are. Number 43. Okay. This is breakthrough. And the other one is the gentle. Wind. And this is resoluteness. Steadfastness. You could use that word as well. Or firm in your decision. Resolute. I'm resolute. Okay, so what are the most beneficial messages for the viewer? Most beneficial messages. I'm going to bring this over just a little bit. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Most beneficial messages for the viewer. So above we have the joyous lake, below we have the creative heaven. This hexagram signifies on the one hand a breakthrough after a long accumulation of tension, as a swollen river breaks through its dikes, or in the manner of a cloudburst. On the other hand, applied to human conditions, it refers to the time when inferior people gradually begin to disappear. Their influence is on the wane. As a result of resolute action, a change in conditions occurs, a breakthrough. The hexagram is linked with the third month, April, May. So you can just rest your eyes if you'd like. There's no need to look at all this unless you want to. And please consider your most important concern or what's been on your mind and see if this relates to what you're dealing with. So the judgment, breakthrough. One must resolutely make the matter known at the court of the king. It must be announced truthfully. Danger. It is necessary to notify one's own city. It does not further to resort to arms. It furthers one to undertake something. Okay. Even if only one inferior man is occupying a ruling position, we say inferior man, we mean inferior person, is occupying a ruling position in a city, this person is able to oppress the superior person. Even a single passion still lurking in the heart has power to obscure reason. Passion and reason cannot exist side by side. Therefore, fight without quarter is necessary if the good is to prevail. In a resolute struggle of the good against evil, there are, however, definite rules that must not be disregarded if it is to succeed. First, the resolution must be based on a union of strength and friendliness. Second, a compromise with evil is not possible. Evil must under all circumstances be openly discredited. Nor must our own passions and shortcomings be glossed over. Third, the struggle must not be carried on directly by force. If evil is branded, it thinks of weapons, and if we do evil the favor of fighting against it blow by blow, we lose in the end, because thus we ourselves get entangled in hatred and passion. Therefore, it is important to begin at home, to be on guard in our own persons against the faults that we have branded. In this way, finding no opponent, the sharp edges of the weapons of evil become dulled. For the same reasons, we should not combat our own faults directly. As long as we wrestle with them, they continue victorious. Finally, the best way to fight evil is to make energetic progress in the good. the image. The lake has risen up to heaven, the image of breakthrough. Thus the superior person dispenses riches downward and refrains from resting on their virtue. When the water of a lake has risen up to heaven, there is reason to fear a cloudburst. Taking this as a warning, the superior man forestalls a violent collapse. Taking this as a warning, the superior person, man or woman, forestalls a violent collapse. If a person were to pile up riches for themselves alone, without considering others, they would certainly experience a collapse. For all gathering is followed by dispersion. Or you could say, for all accumulation is followed by dispensing. Therefore, the superior person begins to distribute while they are accumulating. In the same way, in developing the character, this person takes care not to become hardened in stubbornness, but remains receptive to impressions by help of strict and continuous self-examination. So now we proceed to the lines. This is 9 in the first place. 9 in the first place. 9 at the beginning means mighty in the forward striding toes. When one goes and is not equal to the task, one makes a mistake. In times of a resolute advance, the beginning is especially difficult. We feel inspired to press forward, but resistance is still strong. Therefore, we ought to gauge our own strength and venture only so far as we can go with certainty of success. To plunge blindly ahead is wrong, because it is precisely at the beginning that an unexpected setback can have the most disastrous results. So that's a very important message. Yes. Gauge your own strength and venture only so far as you can go with certainty of success. Don't plunge ahead blindly. Okay? The beginning is very important. The beginning of anything. So the next line is the 9 in the fourth position. 9 in the fourth means there is no skin on his thighs, and walking comes hard. If a man or woman were to let themselves be led like a sheep, remorse would disappear. But if these words are heard, they will not be believed. Here a person is suffering from inner restlessness and cannot abide in their place. They would like to push forward under any circumstances, but they encounter many obstacles. Thus, the situation entails an inner conflict. This is due to the stubbornness with which this person seeks to enforce their will. If this person would stop from this stubbornness, everything would go well. But this advice, like so much other good counsel, will be ignored. For stubbornness makes a person unable to hear for all that he has ears. That's an interesting statement. For stubbornness makes a person unable to hear for all that he has ears. Kind of making fun of the person who's stubborn and not listening and so forth. So, very important to listen, and if possible, let yourself be led like a sheep. Okay. So, the last line, the 6th and the 5th position, 6th and the 6th position, means this. 6 at the top means no cry. In the end, misfortune comes. Victory seems to have been achieved. There remains merely a remnant of the evil resolutely to be eradicated as the time demands. Everything looks easy. Just there, however, lies the danger. If we are not on guard, evil will succeed in escaping by means of concealment. And when it has eluded us, new misfortunes will develop from the remaining seeds, for evil does not die easily. So too, in dealing with the evil in one's own character, one must go to work with thoroughness. If out of carelessness anything were to be overlooked, new evil would arise from it. It's very interesting. Okay, so the next hexagram, number 57, the gentle wind. Okay, here we have a repeating trigram, shun over shun, and these are both the gentle wind or wood, both wind and wood elements, which would be I believe that would be the southeast. Sun is one of the 8 doubled trigrams. It is the eldest daughter and symbolizes wind or wood. It has for its attribute gentleness, which nonetheless penetrates like the wind, or like growing wood with its roots. The dark principle in itself, rigid and immovable, is dissolved by the penetrating light principle, to which it subordinates or humbles itself in gentleness. In nature, it is the wind that disperses the gathered clouds, leaving the sky clear and serene. In human life, it is penetrating clarity of judgment, of thought, that fights off all dark and hidden motives. In the life of a community, it is the powerful influence of a great personality that uncovers and breaks up those intrigues which shun the light of day. The judgment, the gentle, success through what is small, it furthers one to have somewhere to go. It furthers one to see the great person. Penetration produces gradual and unseen effects. It should be affected not by an act of violation, but by influence that never ceases. Results of this kind are less striking to the eye than those won by surprise attack, but they are more enduring and more complete. If one would produce such effects, one must have a clearly defined goal. For only when the penetrating influence works always in the same direction can the object be attained. Small strength can achieve its purpose only by subordinating itself or humbling itself to a prominent, eminent being, eminent person, who is capable of creating order. The image, winds following one upon the other, the image of the gently penetrating. Thus the superior person spreads their commands abroad and carries out their undertakings. The penetrating quality of the wind depends upon its ceaselessness. This is what makes it so powerful. Time is its instrument. In the same way, the ruler's thought should penetrate the soul of the people. This too requires a lasting influence brought about by enlightenment and command. Only when the command has been assimilated and digested by the people is action in accord with it a possibility. Action without preparation of the ground, without preparation of the people, only frightens and repels. So that's the completion of these 2 trigrams or hexagrams. I hope as I shared this information it spoke to you. Just to recap on this final hexagram, the gentle penetrating wind, the idea is to have a consistency, a penetrating influence that works always in the same direction so that the goal or the object can be attained. And it says, small strength can achieve its purpose by humbling itself to a prominent being, a prominent person perhaps, who is capable of creating order. And the penetrating quality of the wind depends upon its continuous action, its ceaselessness. This is what makes it so powerful. Time is its instrument. So this really does talk a lot about persistence and gentleness over time, producing the goal, the effect, and the outcome. You can look at these two hexagrams as describing your situation, describing the importance of different attributes. Just going to go back and visit number 43 briefly here. The lines. Okay. And so the 9 in the first place, it emphasizes the idea that we have to be very careful at the beginning. We feel inspired to press forward, but resistance is still strong. Therefore, we need to gauge our own strength and venture only so far as we can go with certainty of success. So we should not plunge ahead blindly, because it is precisely at the beginning that an unexpected setback can have the most disastrous effects. Okay, 9 in the fourth place. This talks about a person who is suffering from inner restlessness and cannot abide where they're at. They want to push forward under any circumstances, but they encounter many obstacles. The situation entails an inner conflict. This is due to stubbornness, which seeks to enforce its will. But if this person would stop this stubbornness, everything could and would go well. So it's very important to not be stubborn and to allow oneself to be led. That's a very important thing from this line here, the 9 in the fourth position. And the 6 at the top is, again, victory seems to have been achieved. There remains merely a remnant of the evil to be eradicated. Everything looks easy, but we have to be mindful and cautious, because if we're not on guard, evil can succeed in escaping. And if it has eluded us, new misfortunes can develop. So this too, when dealing with the evil in one's own character, we must be thorough. Okay, we must really examine that, contemplate it. And we don't want to be careless to overlook anything, or else new evil, new problems could arise. So these are the messages for this particular reading. I hope they've been very helpful to you. If you would, listen to this reading once again, maybe before bedtime, maybe again the next day in the morning, maybe again when you're completing your day over the next week. Consider these ideas. Perhaps write down some of the most important points that I've emphasized a couple of times here, and refer to these through your day. They'll help you with new perspective, and if you're trying to make a decision, they should help you with that as well. If you're interested in a personalized reading, please feel free to contact me. The information about personalized readings is under the description box. Thanks for tuning in, and take care.